Hello, everybody. What's up? What's going on? And welcome to the 63rd episode of Raptors in One. So, guys, today I'm going to be talking about the last four games that kind of had this playoff feel to it. And the first two of these games being against the Miami Heat, and the last two of those games being against Philadelphia 76ers. And these were on a back-to-back, which kind of gave you like this playoff feel almost in a regular season capacity. So, without any further ado, let's get it. So let's start off against the Miami Heat. Now, with the Miami Heat, we split the series. They won the first game. We won the second game. Now, I gotta say, both these games happened in Miami. So, we have to consider this being away games to be able to get one win. That's pretty good. And if you've been following the Miami series against the Toronto Raptors in the last season, you know how it can get very chippy, it can get very physical, and it gets very ultra competitive. So it gets to a point, even these two games that we just had did not disappoint and was definitely not there with a lack of any drama whatsoever. First game, it was a close one, and I honestly thought that the Raptors could have won that game. They really could have. You gotta tip your hat off to the Heat. They won it, but I honestly thought the Raptors lost it more than the Miami Heat won it. Yeah, now you might be thinking, well, you know what? That's just the fan in you talking. No, I'm being serious. We could have won that game. We cut the lead, and we came back. We even had the lead. And again, for this ball club, the next step is how to sustain that lead and basically play the full 48. Before we get into the next game, in that first game against Miami, again, you guys probably know this by now, we had one of the players from Miami Heat, I forget his name right now, he got into a fight with our rookie, Christian Koloko. What are my thoughts on it? Well, we get it, Miami, they have this culture, they play hard, they train hard, and under Eric Spoelstra, they've been doing that since the LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh days, and they haven't taken their foot off the pedal. Pat Riley, he also expects close to perfection from his team, so I get it, but if you're going to let a rookie get under your skin and then you're going to be acting all tough, yeah, I mean, we had a little MMA situation going on there at one point, but I liked how the rookie stood up for himself, because, I mean, you gotta let him know, you're a 7-foot center. You are our anchor, our defensive anchor. So you got to let him know, young rook. And you did that. You did exactly that. But again, things started to get ugly. Of course, they got into a fight. Of course, the other teammates from both teams decided to, de-escalate the situation. Both of them get tossed out. Both of them get fines. The rook too. And the rook did not instigate it. It was this other guy from the Heat. I can't remember his name now. I did have it before, but that's just how important that guy is to me. And basically that's how, popular this guy is. Clearly he's not. So, but, hats off to Christian Koloko, our rook. He did not take any of that BS. So, good on him. Speaking of MMA, I have a confession to make. When the Raptors were down at the half, I was like, okay, you know what? It seems like, and just by the way they were playing, you could tell they were laboring, struggling, just to stay in the game. I know this is not a good thing for me to admit, but I will do it. I decided, you know what, I'm going to watch the UFC pay-per-view when Islam Makhachev took over Charles Oliveira. And that was an amazing fight. Man, even that whole event was fire. But I got to say, the way Islam dominated Charles, man, I'm all about the Dagestani fighters, man. These guys, they do not mess around. They don't joke around. I mean, yeah, they do, they do joke around amongst each other and all that good stuff. But when it comes to training, man, they train. They train hard. They don't mess around. Khabib, the eagle, he sets the precedence. Everybody else follows. And Islam, my friend, oh my goodness, he definitely is taking the mantle from Khabib. So I was happy when I saw Islam win it. He called it. He was going to submit this guy second, maybe third round. He submitted him. That was awesome. Now, coming back to, I know I digress, coming back to the actual game. So I was kind of surfing Twitter and social media, and I happened to come across this tweet where somebody had posted the video of the whole scuffle between Christian Coloco and the Heat guy there. And they were saying, yo, Heat culture, yeah. Like they were kind of beating their chest. And I was thinking, man, if this is Heat culture, jeez, like, well, what kind of culture is this? We're gonna try to muscle a rookie around? Like, come on, man. I mean, whatever. If that's Heat culture, I don't want to be any part of it. Anyway, it was a close game. We lost it. Lost by 3, 109-112. And we figure, you know what? On to the next game then. Now, the next game, again, it was in Miami. So clearly the guys, they got some time to unwind and practice while staying in Miami. So it was all good. It resulted in a win, baby. And it was in a very decisive fashion. Even though the margin was not huge, you got to realize that in the modern NBA game, when teams typically score about, anywhere north of 105 or 110 points, we held the Heat to 90. Ouch. Now, yes, we scored 98, but hey, the whole point of this game was defense. And we defended the Heat. We locked them down. We made that adjustment. Pascal, he's been balling. He's been balling all these games. Since the season started to now, to even till last night's game, he's been balling. He is definitely trying to be that top 5, and he has taken my advice. He has improved, obviously, in his perimeter game, and he's also being that point forward, kind of like a distributor. And I had mentioned these things in my previous videos. So, if you haven't already done so, you need to subscribe. Check those previous videos out. I said it. I said the next step for Pascal to be that legitimate franchise player / all-star, he's got to be a consistent perimeter threat, and he's got to be a better defender as well, which he's also improved this season. And of course, you got to be a point forward of sorts. Distribute the ball. Because when double teams come at you, what are you going to do? You got to make them pay. You got to make them pay. And then when there's no double team, you still got to make them pay. Be like, hey, you got to send double teams. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing this all night. Gary, Pascal, Freddie, they all balled. They all had a great game. But in my opinion, the man of the match, Precious Achiuwa. Man, this man, he balled. He didn't score very much. He had only like 10 points. But again, it resulted in a W. But the element that he brought for the win was the boards. Man grabbed 22 boards by himself. 22 boards. When he had already crossed, I want to say, the 14th or 15th rebound, I was like, I was thinking and I was yelling to myself, board man gets paid! Board man gets paid! I know it's a Kawhi thing, but man, the way he was eating glass, it was like, damn, we need to rethink the Raptors logo. Just kind of be like, put Precious face eating glass. Just because of that game. 22 boards, baby. Yeah, and we got that win. Now, Scotty Barnes was out. And I know I didn't mention this in the previous game's recap, but Scotty Barnes had gone down because of an ankle injury. He had, he made this move and, beat his man, laid it up, but when he landed awkwardly. And that was it. And I gotta say, the way he was wincing in pain, and then I was like, oh, here we go. We lost our future franchise player, and it's the same ankle, damn it. He had the same ankle issues last season. Of course, he didn't sit out too many games, but this time around, I'm like, man, this guy needs to change his kicks, because clearly these kicks are not doing wonders for his ankles. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he needs to go with Under Armour or something, because I like Under Armour's kicks, because they do have ample ankle support. I myself own a pair. Those were the very first Currys that I have. So yeah, I can swear by it. Anyway, he was not playing that game, but hey, we still got that W, and it was insane. It seemed like Precious grabbed his boards, and he grabbed the boards that Scotty would have gotten. So Precious, Precious, Precious. That was the theme of that last game against Miami. So that resulted in us having a 500 record, 2-2, and that was it. And then, of course, we were going to be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. And the next two games, now, with this was more at home, so it was crazy, it was good, and of course, you would think, it's more in our favor, and that did kind of happen. To be honest, even before this series started, I was like, man, I know Philly was on like a 0-3 record at the time, but again, it's the Raptors, So for some reason, especially these Eastern Conference rivals, they're always like, oh, the Raptors are playing. Let's circle that. Let's bring it up. Let's bring out all our skills, put our heart and souls in these games, because this is pretty much like playing for the championship. I don't know what it is about the Toronto Raptors, but the Eastern Conference teams just love to bring it. However, that was not the case in the first game against the Philadelphia 76ers, and we beat them. Now, this first game against Philadelphia, the Raptors beat them by 10, and I gotta say, it was, at times I was thinking, man, the Philadelphia 76ers are gonna beat us in this game. I thought that. And that's just because we have a healthier Harden now, and he's on a warpath. And as a matter of fact, the last three losses that Harden had, he was scoring 30-plus points. And then you have, of course, Joel Embiid. Yeah, sure, he still had, like, plantar fasciitis. I hope that's how I pronounce it. That's how you pronounce it. But, yeah, he was cooking us in the paint. Like, as soon as he got deep paint position, which a man for his size, it's easy for him to get that. That's it. Just throw the ball to him, he goes to work. We don't have Marc Gasol no more. So, yeah, we got cooked in there. But we still got that W. And I got to say, the starting five in this game, they balled. They did exactly what they had to do for winning this game. And, OG, Pascal, Freddie, Gary, and Scotty, they all scored north of 15 points. But the main man of the match, Spicy P, baby. Man, nobody could touch this cat. Spicy P was going off. Woo! And I gotta say, I love PJ Tucker, Like, PJ Tucker, I have a lot of respect for this guy, because he is a true NBA vet. For all the teams that he's played with, he's helped them out big time. As a vet, he buys into his role. He plays his heart and soul out for every possession, never mind every game. Every possession, he plays it like it's his last. And he, for him to be defending Pascal the way he did, I get it. I think he must have gotten somebody else's scouting report. Or maybe they were going off of the old scouting report from the last season, where they're like, oh, you know what? Let Pascal beat you from the perimeter. Let him shoot. Give him some space. But guess what? This time, he made PJ Tucker pay not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times. PJ sagged off of Pascal. He cooked him. Bam! In his mouth, in his face. And I think by like the second or the third 3-pointer, it was nice to see Pascal being like, you gotta guard me. You gotta guard me. You just can't leave me open. And he was talking all that good trash. And I was like, yes, boy. Yes, you are. If you want to be top 5, You gotta be assertive in the game, baby. But of course, if you're gonna talk that trash, you gotta back it up. And he did. I was happy to see that. Of course, it made it even more enjoyable because it was against the Philadelphia 76ers. The crazy thing about this play of Pascal in this game, he didn't just cook them from the offensive end, he also played some very good defense and very timely defense. And again, he's added this element to his game. Now he's becoming like a point forward where after getting the board, he's actually telling everybody, hey, I got this. And he's actually bringing the ball forward, as in he's pushing the pace so that, hey, let's get that bucket in transition. Let's not set up on the half court. Because guess what? I mean, that's not the Raptors' strong suit right now. We're a better transition team than a half court setup kind of an offense. And then, of course, the dimes. 13 assists. Man, point forward. What's up? That's right. So, he had 13 assists, and they were amazing assists. My goodness. It's like, after he cooked them for 5 3-pointers, Doc is like, okay, I've had it. This is enough. I got to send some 2 bodies at this guy at the very least. And every time they did that, he kicked it out to the open man. Swish. Bam. Cash. You name it. Anything. Done. Gary had a pretty good game too. And a very interesting stat line too, because he had 27 points, 0 boards, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks. The man was a walking bucket. Of course, he didn't impact the game in any other facet, but he didn't need to. He really didn't. Pascal was doing everything. Freddie was doing everything. Scotty, OG were doing a little bit of everything. But we needed buckets. And that's where Gary Buckets came into the picture. So he was, up to this point, up to this game, for the past, I want to say 2, maybe 3 games, Gary Trent's been struggling. So my comparison to JR in my previous videos were apt. Because JR is kind of, like, Gary's game kind of reminds me of JR, where, JR has amazing amount of skill. Like, he can beat you off the dribble, he can hit the 3-pointer, he's a threat anywhere, but only when he's hot. When he's not, then he's struggling. No matter what he tries, he struggles. And that's kind of what Gary was for the past 2-3 games, up until that game. And then he just went off. Bam! Like, anything he shot. He was shooting 3-pointers, pump fake, sidestep, splash. Pump fake, beat you off the dribble. Hezzy, little jumper, little teardrop, or just going for the layup. He had it going on. But no boards, no assists, no steals, no blocks. At the end of the day, we got that W. That's the most important stat. Fast forward to last night's game. It was a sad one. So last night's game, Toronto lost, and handily. It was a little embarrassing, I gotta say. Now, I didn't get to watch much of this game, but when I did get to watch it, I was like, damn, that's pretty bad. The score was 91-12. I think that adds up to like 22 points or something, 22-point differential. What made it worse was that Philly didn't have Joel Embiid. Ouch. Joel sat this one. And I thought, with Joel sitting this one, I honestly thought this is in the bag. We got that W. That's it. We're going to send Philadelphia home packing. That's what I thought. But, reality hit. And again, I have to take my own advice, because that's what I always say. Even though some of these teams may be bad, or they may be missing some of their franchise players, these are professional NBA teams. They will win when they put their heads together and when they start rolling. And that's what happened with Tyrese Maxey. My goodness. Even though Pascal had himself a good game, Tyrese Maxey, he was the man. Damn, man. He 39 minutes, 44 points. What? There's clearly a reason why Masai and Bobby were trying to get Tyrese at the 2020 trade deadline, when we were wondering if we were going to have Kyle Lowry finish off the season, or if we could trade him off to Philly for some assets. Tyrese Maxey was part of the package that we were hoping to get, but Philly, they knew what they had, man. They canceled that trade. They didn't want it. They didn't want to separate from Tyrese. Man, Maxey's got game. Jeez, like he really cooked us. That's all I gotta say about that game, because yeah, that was a tough loss. These 4 playoff style games, 2 against Miami, 2 against Philadelphia, 2 Eastern Conference contenders, 2 teams that are trying to obviously not just make it to the playoffs but take it to the next level, i.e. the championship. So what does that say about Toronto? Now, if you had watched my previous episodes, in one of my previous episodes I had mentioned that on these few games that we have a tough schedule. The first 10 or 12 games in the season are tough. If we can even stay at the 50% mark, that's not bad. Honestly, that was my analysis, and right now we're sitting on a 3-3 record. So it's not all bad. It's and again, it's still early in the season, and I gotta say, some of the fans, even on social media, for the NBA in general, and even the sports analysts, they're already hitting the panic button on some of these other teams like Brooklyn, like Philly, especially with the Lakers. They're already hitting the panic button, and we haven't even gotten to 10 games yet, and we still have 70 some odd games left in the season. Anything can happen from now till the end of the season. Never mind till the end of the season. You know how teams typically will turn around after the All-Star break. Things can happen. Deals can be made. Anything can happen. So that's why, Raptors fans, I implore you, do not hit that panic button. So guys, that's all I got for today. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like the content and you want to check out some more of my content. I've got it on my channel, Raptors in One. Join the family, baby. And of course, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and hit the comment section. So until next time, I'm out.